Hey everyone, it's Brandon Browning here, aka Livingston's Realtor and Livingston's podcast host.
Hey, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Hey, if you're a home buyer out there right now, you are in what's called a seller's market, which is not beneficial for you.
It sucks.
And if you're a future home buyer out there sometime this year, you're likely going to be in the same market, so you want to pay attention to this as well.
You have my attention.
So what we have going on right now is we have far more home buyers out there than we have homes. So we have a lack of inventory. So what's happening is homes are hitting the market and you have multiple buyers that are chasing that home, which is creating these multiple offer situations. So the home sellers are maximizing their return on their investment.
Lucky.
And the home buyers are paying top dollar. Now you may be thinking, well, if that's the case, I'm just gonna wait this out.
I will wait.
Well, number one is I don't know how long this is going to last. This could last the remainder of the year.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And number two, what we're hearing is that the interest rates are going to continue to go up. They've already went up this year, and from what we're hearing, they're likely going to continue that. So if you wait until next year and the interest rate's a percent more or 0.5% more, you just basically waited for nothing.
No! God, please, no!
Because you're going to end up paying more for that house anyway.
No! No!
So obviously you want to take advantage of these still low, historical low interest rates. So what do you need to do as a home buyer? What you have to do is just figure out some ways to entice that seller to take your offer over somebody else's offer.
How do you do that?
Because of all the multiple offers, you just you gotta think outside the box a little bit.
Sounds like a good idea.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 tips that you probably have not heard of. You may have heard of one, but the other 2 I'm pretty sure you haven't heard of. 3 tips that's going to help win you that deal whenever you find that perfect home that you're looking for.
How long is this going to take?
Now the first tip I'm going to give you is whenever you go get pre-approved, and even if you're already pre-approved, entertain the fact that going with a lender with what's called no lender overlays is going to be beneficial for you.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
I'll say this as brief as I can. Now, probably 98% of the lenders in our area, banks and credit unions and lenders, they all have what's called lender overlays. Now, what that is your federal government puts out this minimum standard of what's required from you to qualify for these loans.
Oh, the government stinks.
And what happens is all these lenders and banks and credit unions, especially because of COVID, they've added a bunch more things. They come in and they put in all their rules and regulations on top of what the federal government's minimum standards are.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
So that's just more hoops that you as a home buyer have to jump through to get pre-approved. And unfortunately, a lot of those hoops that you have to jump through are also roadblocks. What I mean by that is you'll pre-approve, it'll reduce your buying power. I'll give you an example.
Oh, it's story time. Let me get my baba.
I was working with a school teacher here recently, and she was pre-approved for $150,000. And we were running into that problem, getting in multiple offer situations, losing house after house. And to be honest with you, that price point at $150 wasn't really what she was hoping to be able to buy. So I said, look, if you just go to this lender that doesn't have any lender overlays, you'll get pre-approved for more money. Your max will be higher, so you'll have a lot more options out there. And she finally did that. She got pre-approved. She went from $150 to $185.
Impressive.
No, not really. No.
Now she ended up buying a new construction home at $175, which was exactly what she was looking for. Now, if she wouldn't have done that, she would have been stuck at $150, no telling how many homes she would have lost by then. And even when she would have won that home, she would have paid a max amount of dollar for it, and it wasn't exactly what she wanted, so she would have been settling.
I do want to settle.
So obviously also you want to take the path of least resistance. You want to go with a lender that's going to give you your most options, and that's going to be a lender with no lender overlays.
I still have no idea what you're talking about, man.
Now, unfortunately, probably 99% of realtors out there don't know what a lender overlay is. But look, if you have questions about that, or you want to make sure you get connected with a lender with no overlays, just give me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, however you want to do it. Reach out to me on social media, and I'll be glad to connect with you and connect you with a lender that doesn't have any lender overlays.
We didn't do that.
Now, number 2.
God, Joey, this is taking forever.
So whenever you're going and you're writing offers on these homes, what happens is your realtor will ask your lender for pre-approval for the amount of money that you're offering.
I think I already knew that.
So let's say the home is $200,000, you'll get a pre-approval, and you're offering $200,000, you'll get a pre-approval for $200,000, and you'll submit that pre-approval with the offer. Well, in this market, that's a really bad strategy. Like I mentioned earlier, you're having multiple offers. So how do you stand out as a home buyer? So what I would tell you is this.
Please tell me.
Most of the time, whenever you get a pre-approval from a lender, they say, hey, look, what do you want to spend a month? And let's say you say, well, I want to spend $1,100 a month is the maximum amount of money that I want to spend. They'll issue your pre-approval based upon what you tell them there. Well, in this market, I say don't say that. You know, figure out that price point, figure out that budget, and remember that, but say, hey, look, we're in a seller's market. Send me a pre-approval for the maximum amount of money that I pre-approve for. Because a lot of times, let's say you're buying at $200, you may pre-approve for $250. So whenever you submit that offer to that seller, submit that pre-approval for $250,000.
That's brilliant.
That does a couple of things. Number one, it lets that seller's agent know that you're a strong buyer, and he's going to relay that information to the seller, because unfortunately in the real estate business, a lot of deals fall through, which is very, very frustrating for people.
Makes me really, really angry.
And it's because of financing issues. Maybe they were at their max, at their debt to income ratios at 200, and then the lender finds something later on in the process, or the buyer goes out and buys something and puts something on their credit and whatever.
People do that.
And they don't pre-approve anymore. So that happens all the time, unfortunately, and it's very frustrating. So show yourself to be as strong of a buyer as possible and submit that pre-approval for far more money than what your offer is. Now, if you can't do that, you can't do that, but most people typically can. And again, going back to my first point, going with that lender that doesn't have any lender overlays is going to be able to give you that maximum price point that another lender is likely will not be able to give you as far as how much. So my third tip is this, and look, mostly men have an issue with this.
Did you really just say that?
But look, you have to play the game that you're in. I mean, you're in a seller's market. You're going to pay top dollar. Now, there are some price points out there that you may not have to do this, because not every price point is on fire. Generally, it's the first-time home buyer price point out there. So look, don't be afraid to submit an offer more than what the asking price is.
See, I told you this guy is crazy. I can't believe this.
I'll give you an example. I just closed on a home just recently. I listed this house for $205,000. I had a buyer. I got multiple offers on this property, and there was one buyer that came in at $207,500. Well, guess who won the deal? The one that came in at $207,500.
Blah, 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 blah.
Now, there are some things that can happen there. Just remember, you're pretty safe, because remember that the appraisal has to be ordered. And the home, the bank's only going to finance you what that home appraises for. So let's say the home would have only appraised for $205,000. Then that buyer's agent would have came to that seller's agent and said, hey, it came in at $205,000. Here's the appraisal. We need you to drop the price. Now that becomes a negotiation right there, but most of the time that seller ends up dropping the price.
Hey, he's got a point there.
So you're really kind of safe. So don't be afraid to come in over asking. And just remember, let's say you pay $207,500 for that house. That's $3,500 extra. $3,500 extra over 30 years is basically pennies and nickels. It's going to make a minute difference on your monthly mortgage payment.
You know this kind of makes sense, right?
So anyway, I've got many more tips. That was just 3. So if you're curious to know anything else you can do out there, maybe you want to get information on that lender with no overlays.
I need to talk to him.
Maybe you want to hear more about my strategies that can win you that home. Feel free to give me a call.
I'm calling him right now.
Shoot me a text, shoot me an email, reach out to me on social media, however you would like to do it. We'd love to hear from you. And look, if you have plans on selling here in the near future, understand I do that as well. Or if you want to put a plan together on getting your home sold or buying a home, look, I'm here to help you in any way I can. So, hey, look, if you like this content, please make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, like it, like the Facebook page, and be on the lookout for more content to come. Thank y'all so much. Again, my name is Brandon Browning, and y'all be blessed.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.